One thing that you are seeing, okay, what you're seeing on my book slider is the tell me about yourself question. I wrote what is expected of me as a Scrum Master, what I'm currently doing, my skills, what platforms I've used, what technical platforms that I've used, what I've done previously, and some of my skills and experience. I won't be reading it or delving into it. Another one of the interview's questions was, as a Scrum Master, how do you contribute to sprint planning? I answered it. This is just slides of what I answered. And then the second question as well, and the third question as well. I won't be reading it in this, but this is part of the interview questions that we were meant to prepare for. So I prepared actually 5 questions, but these are 3 options for you guys to see. And this is also a mind map of myself as a Scrum Master, me being a leader, me being a coach, me being a collaborator, being emotionally intelligent. These are skills that I feel like is important as a Scrum Master. I also have problem solving techniques, independent management skills. I'm flexible, a communicator, motivator as well, and I'm able to adapt to new environments. So this is just a mind map. I use the Figma platform as well for this. Also, this is my persona. I wrote about myself. We learned about the persona using the Figma website this week. So in the performer persona, you don't actually have to use your real name. So it can be an alias, should I say. So I used an alias. Well, it's still my name, but shortened, put my age there. I'm sure you guys can't really see. So you can see the bio, what is my personality, my interests, my influences, my goal, my pains and points. I realized when I was completing my persona, it's almost that you're writing in third person. So I'm not necessarily saying I'm putting Victoria as an innovative Scrum Master, etc., etc. So yes, there's many examples online as well. 50 responsibilities of my role. I won't be going through them, but some of them are to mentor the team, facilitate the daily stand-up, facilitate backlog refinement, facilitate sprint planning, etc. All right, Jeffrey, are you available to
Yes,
present?
I'm available. Good evening, everyone. It's Jeffrey here, a data analyst. So I'm going to cover what we've done so far from Sprint 0 to Sprint 4 in the data analyst sessions. So we touched on Excel, Tableau, and SQL. So I'll start off with Excel. Can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, in Excel, we learned how to create pivot tables and also learned various functions like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index and match, if error, some if, count if, and average if. We also learned about text to column, find and replace. Can we go to the next slide, please? All right, so the diagram in front is, the figure in front is a pivot table that I've created to analyze a task that was given to the data analyst team. So we're to analyze this sheet based on, different sheets. So we're to retrieve different data from this individual sheet and bring it into one sheet and then generate a pivot table. All right, so if you move to the next slide, you see examples of how these various functions have been used. The if, the sum if, the sum if, the count if, the average if, index, and if error. And can you proceed to the next slide? We also touched on match, index and match, and VLOOKUP. And if you proceed to the next slide, please. All right, so like I spoke about text to column earlier. So this diagram shows how you can break, for example, if you have maybe you have 4 sentences in a particular row and you want to split it into different cells, then you can use text to column to then split it into different cells. You can also use text to column to convert American dates into European dates. Can you proceed to the next slide, please? All right, so the next thing we've done in our data analyst session is Tableau. So in Tableau, we've learned how to install Tableau, how to import data sets on Tableau, and how to do various data visualization like pie charts, bar charts, pie charts, tree maps, scatter plots, line charts, and area charts. We've also learned how to incorporate all these visualization into a dashboard so that you can see them interacting, and also learn how to save whatever we've done on Tableau Public into our Tableau Public account. Okay, proceed to the next slide, please. All right, so I will show you how Tableau, how to download Tableau. So if you just put in, if you type in Tableau or download Tableau public in Google, on Google, or you can type in the URL there. It brings you to this page, and then when you click on download free to download Tableau Public, you have to first fill in this form. And then once you've done filling the form and then you click on submit, you should be able to then download. You will then be able to download the Tableau Public on your desktop or on your laptop or system you're using. So once you already have the Tableau Public downloaded and you just click on it, you run as an administrator, and then you have to then you have to read and accept the terms and conditions and license, and then you install, and then it's just going to install Tableau, and then it automatically launches Tableau once it's done installing. Can you proceed to the next slide, please? All right, so in this slide, I will show you how to import data sets on Tableau Public. So once you've launched Tableau Public, on the left side, you have, if you're importing an Excel file, or you're importing a CSV file, or you're importing a JSON file, or a Microsoft Access file, or a PDF file, you can just select which type of file you want to import. Look for the locate the file, and then select the file and press OK. And it should bring you to the next window, and then you just click. If you can use the sheet to like format, for example, if you're having a lot of data that you need to pivot, you can do that there, and then click on sheet 1 to start your visualization. Can you proceed to the next slide, please? This is the dashboard, but before developing a dashboard, we had already analyzed the data sheet individually in maps, in a pie chart, in a tree map, in a bar chart, using parameters, and then drag them into our dashboard to create the dashboard. All right, can you proceed to the next slide, please? Okay, so once you're done doing your analysis, sorry, can you go back, please? See the previous one, how to save. You're going forward, go backward, please.
I'm sorry, Jeffrey, but I might need to stop you. Remember, your team has 15 minutes and you've taken up like 5-6 minutes. Please, can you wrap up? Thank you.
All right, I will try to be fast. Okay, so the following slide will show you how to download SQL Server. This is the procedures. Then go to the next slide. And this is how to install the various procedures to install SQL Server. And then after installing SQL Server, you then need to install the SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, just keep going. And then this is the process to download and install SQL Management Studio. Just keep going. And just keep again to the next slide. This is how to import or restore database after downloading your SQL Management Studio. And these are various scripts that we've written in the SQL Server Management Studio. We've used join to join different database, and let me just skip to the next slide. And these are various tasks I have done on Azure DevOps. The tasks involve all the activities that we've done in Excel and Tableau. And these are continuous tasks that I've also done on Azure DevOps. So you can proceed to the next slide. And this is what I've done so far on Jira, involving the career development in creating CVs, CV review, prep, interview prep, and mind map. Can proceed to the next slide. So this is for Jira. All right, so I've done my persona for data analyst. So this is what I've done for myself. My name, my bio, personal interest, technical skills, soft skills, motivation, goals, and pain points and frustration.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
Next question, please. Next question, please start. Thank you.
Hi everyone.
Bukola.
Hi everyone. This is Bukola, business analyst. So I'm going to speak on everything we've done from sprint 0 to sprint 4. So this is an overview of what we've achieved from sprint 0 to sprint 4, what we have been taught so far. Next slide, please. Next slide, Victoria. So this the list of the tasks that has been done by me. I met with my product owner to gather requirements, organize PBI, wrote my persona, my mind map down to my interview prep. Next slide. The tools I've learned to use during the course of the training, I've learned to use Azure DevOps, Miro, Balsamiq, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Visio, Microsoft PowerPoint, Jira, and Figma. Next slide. This is my Azure DevOps, the board, and the stories we've written on it. Next slide. Sample of some of the stories that I wrote: payments by PayPal, payments by card. Next slide. Next slide. Some of the user stories I've written also: payouts and dashboard. There are another one: I have profile, I have art students. Next slide. Side navigation panel and the wireframe by the side. Next slide. Story. I also wrote story on CV creation and CV review. This is the our picture of the story. Next slide. Also, the story I wrote on persona and my mind map. Next slide. Story written on interview prep and Jira, and also my Jira board. Next slide. Some of the wireframe that I did. This is on payments method, and the other one is on side navigation panel. Next slide. So this is the total stories I've written so far on Azure DevOps and on Jira. I have 7 stories on, no, I have 9 stories on Azure DevOps and 5 on Jira. Next slide. Next slide. I think I've said this. Next slide, please. Also, my responsibility as a business analyst, participating in daily stand-up, which gives room for team collaboration, organizing meetings with stakeholders and product owner, elicitation of requirement for product owner, down to conducting testing activities and ensuring that the deliverables, this is a typo error, that the deliverable solutions meet the specified requirements and quality standard. Next slide, please. This is my persona. I used Figma to create my persona. On my persona, I have my bio, about myself, my age, my education, history, my personality, introvert or extrovert, analytical or creative, also to my professional interest, my technical skills, my motivation, my soft skills, my hobbies, and my current feelings. Next slide. This is my mind map on my, so I did a mind map on my personal career development. So this is my personal career development. I have my education. These are my education history. I have my technical skills. These are the list of skills that I can use as a business analyst. I have my soft skills. These are my soft skills in person, and my industries of interest. These are the list of industries I would like to work in, and my other personal developments. These are the list of it. So I used Miro to build my mind map here. Next slide, please. So about myself answering interview question. So my name is Bukola. I'm a business analyst, 6 months. Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. Thank you.
Victoria Owolabi, are you available to present quickly? Victoria, are you available to present?
Yes, I am available.
Okay, so we need to run quickly into this, so no reading.
Okay, thank
all
you,
right?
Victoria. Yeah, my first slide shows the workshop I've attended from Spring 0 to 4, while my second slide also shows my personal activities that I've already able to achieve. While my next slide shows the tools I've learned. I've learned the following tools in the course of this training. These are the list of the tools that I've learned. And while my next slide shows some of the user stories that I've created on the Azure DevOps, and why my next slide to show another story that I've written, why the next slide shows some of issue I've created on Jira board, I've created on a mind map, and while the next slide shows another issue I've created on CV creation, and while the next slide shows another issue I've created on CV review, and while the other slide, the next slide shows my personal, the issue I've created on it, and while my next slide shows this talks about myself, who I am, my background, my experience, and some of the tools that I know how to use. That's how we introduce myself, by telling me, tell more about yourself. While my next slide shows 15 responsibilities of a business analysis. My responsibility as a BA, these are the list of my responsibility by gathering documents for requirements to improving my business analysis process. While my next slide shows my persona about myself, and I have the next slide. The next slide shows my bio and my personality, and why the other one shows my soft skill, my hobby, my technical skills, and my professional interests. And these are, the next slide shows my VCO that I've written on card payments, while the next slide shows another video I've written on paper method of payments. And this is my use case that I'm able to write on payment method. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. QAs. Kayode.
Yes, thank you so
Okay,
much. Because
sorry,
of the time.
after one QA, we're done with Emerald. Thank you.
Oh my God! Because of the time allotted to us that is running
Go ahead,
fast,
please.
so
Go ahead.
I will please every 4 seconds just be pressing the next slide. This is the introduction to me, a QA, quality assurance of some time, and then I've been able to use a lot of instruments like Microsoft Team, Excel, Jira, Azure DevOps, and so on and so forth. So these are my, there's installation of Visual Studio. These are the steps of installation of Visual Studio. So these are the description of it. Then when you get to this area, you just click continue without code. Yeah, you can go to the next slide. Then here you will integrate your spec flow into this Visual Studio, where this dialog box will come up and you will modify it and close your Visual Studio. Then reopen your Visual Studio and create a project with spec flow. You can continue. Yeah, this is where you are going to name your project, and now after that one, you are now going to integrated your NuGet package. These are the NuGet package you need to integrate into your Visual Studio environment. Yeah, and then open, then this, and then build your folder. And you need to build your folder after your. This is how you build up your folder, and then before you know, as you do that, yeah, your Visual Studio is well set up. Yeah, you can go. Yeah, this is my my bio personnel that I designed in Figma. Yeah, you can next slide. So this is my Jira board where all of it has been finished. They are now done. They are no more there. Yeah, you can continue. So this is just the description of my CV that I've been able to design after our CV review and CV and the lecture give to us. So this is one of my projects that I did and which passed. So this project passed, and then can go on next slide. This is my automated, this is an automated test that I did that failed as well, and I've reported it. I raised the bug and described the bug. I described the bug here. Next slide. And then the picture of the bug that I raised, and I sign it to Tosin Adeleye. So this is the little about me. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Passing it over to the host. Thank you.
Sorry, yeah, let's continue. Let's finish.
Exactly,
So,
just continue. Let's see.
just continue.
5 minutes.
Yeah, but yeah, make sure that you do it fast, please. Thank you.
Okay. Adedayo Otubu, are you available?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Great.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Adedayo Otubu, QA. Over the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've been registered. I've been able to assert myself as a QA. I've learned quite a lot in the last 5 weeks. Next slide, please. This is just a description of the question. Tell me about yourself, which I've been able to build. Yeah, the 15 responsibilities of a QA, which deliver and execute test plans and test cases and test scripts, is just can you go to the next slide, please? Next slide, please. All right, this is my personal, which I develop on Figma board. Just talk about everything, my interest, my influence, goals, needs and expectation. Here is my Azure board, where we do the sprint refinement, the estimation and planning. And can you go to the last forward, please? Yeah. Here is my QA board where the entire team work on tickets. This is my spec flow where we talk. 1 minute, please. Can you slow down, please? QA, it has. This is where we create. This is my spec flow and spec Selenium driver setup from this one. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. All right, yeah, it's just about installing Visual Studio 2022 community version. Next slide, please. And you continue with our code. Next slide, please. And you integrate it with your spec flow by installing from the extensions. Next slide, please. You let it modify, integrate fully, and you close your Visual Studio. Next slide, please. Then you have to create your new projects. Next slide, please. And from the project, you select the configurations. You then forward, please. And your Visual Studio should be set up. Then from here, you start integrating your feature folders, your folder structures. Then you bring out your test explorers, and the whole framework is set up. Then you install your Nugget packages with my Nugget package. Forward, please. Yeah, then you install your Nugget packages and the Selenium drivers, and you can then clean and build, and you're ready for your automation test. Forward, please. Okay, this is where you create your folder structures, as I said earlier. Forward, please. And the whole framework is all set up. This is just a screenshot of the whole setup where you're ready to do your automation. Forward, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is that all for Emerald? Aside the fact that, I expected you guys to work within your timing, are these the only people that have presentations available for Emerald?
Yes, some people are definitely having family matters, so yes.
Okay, we'll talk about that another time, but I think that's good enough, but I understand. Thank you for that. Thank you, Victoria, and thank you, Emerald. Ruby, are you set? Hello, Ruby.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
All right, please shoot. Thank you. Edison, please, can you turn off your camera, please? Thank you.
Edison.
We can see your screen.
Okay, great. Hi everyone. My name is Daniel, and this is Ruby. So I go first with the task that we're taught to do. So we're taught to write about ourselves. That interview question. Tell me about yourself. And I wrote 3 paragraphs as we were instructed. I'll not be reading through. However, this will be available. And then we're asked to create a user persona, and I created my persona. And the moniker that I went by is the exceptional coach. I hope that sounds good. All right. And then my persona, I had to create some interests, influences, goals, needs, and expectations, what motivates me, pain points, and frustrations. And then I had to create a mind map. So this was my first attempt at creating a mind map, and I hope I did well. However, I intend to go back and try to refix and refine and create a very solid one. And then we're asked to write 15 responsibilities of each person's role. So mine is a Scrum Master, and I wrote 15 responsibilities here and then continued here. And then a list of all tasks done so far. I did a quick overview of the tasks that I've done, creating Azure DevOps, created Jira and everything. However, I must mention that we're 4 masters in Ruby, but however, I was the only one that was able to create for the Scrum Masters, because 2 of our Scrum Masters are actually under the weather, and then 1 has been tied up due to work. Thank you so much. And then I'm moving on to Salome. Salome, please go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Salome Kingsley. Okay, the task was to create about myself. So the first slide is talking about myself. Next slide, please. Then this is the continuation about myself. Then this is my persona about myself. My name, my occupation, my bio, personality, influences, motivation, you can see it there. Then the next slide, I have my mind map, which starts with my goals, my soft skills, technical skills, my experiences. Okay, the mind map, I did it with Figma. Then this is a 15 responsibility of a BA. So started with a requirement gathering, documentation of business requirement from stakeholders to understanding, down to, next slide, this is continuation of it. Next slide, please. Yeah, so down to, yeah, in that particular slide, I have 15 roles of a BA. Then this is an overview of all the work I have done on Azure DevOps, writing of user stories and acceptance criteria. Then this is the wireframe I have created. So far, I think I have 6 of them. Next slide. Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oluwatosin Adepa. Next slide, please. I'm a business analyst. Okay, tell me about yourself. These are the 3 paragraphs that I've written with regards to introducing myself in an interview setting. That's my personnel. That's a snapshot of it. Next slide, please. Again, this is just to give a clearer view of it. Next slide, please. And that shows my interest, my influences, goals, my needs and expectation, my motivation, my pain points and frustrations. Next slide, please. That's my mind map. I used Miro to create my mind map, and I decided to work on my CV. My resume. Next slide, please. Again, on task 4, we were asked to write about the 15 responsibilities of my role, and that's it outlined as shown above. Next slide, please. And again, part of alongside with the remaining part of the roles and responsibility. Next slide, please. That's also part of it. Task 5, it says a list of tasks done so far. So far, I've written 5 user stories, 7 acceptance criteria, 5. I've also created 5 wireframes. I've been able to also produce a 5 process map, 4 user case, gap analysis, 1 personnel, 1 mind map as seen above. Again, that's the artifact of my header, which shows the user stories, the acceptance criteria, and the wireframe. That's it for sign up page as well. Next slide, please. Thank you. Again, top courses. We've got the user story, acceptance criteria, and so on. Enroll courses also, those are the artifacts as shown above. Next slide, please. On Gateway, that's the artifact as shown above. Next slide, please. on again, we worked on Jira board. That's my backlogs, and on CV creation, I've been able to write my user story, my acceptance criteria, and it's sustainable. Next slide, please. CV review, I've also written the user story and the acceptance criteria. Thank you very much.
Ogochukwu. Ogochukwu, are you there?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I think I missed my tax one. I did write it, but I didn't add it. So yeah, this is talking about my person. Yeah, there's about me and my key skills. And the second one is talking about also my interests, my influence, my goals, needs, and expectation. And this is a mind map about myself, my qualifications, my personal interests, my aims, my major accomplishments, and past jobs and personal information. And this is also about the responsibility of a BA, 15 of them that I've written, and what we normally do as a BA. And yeah, next. Yeah, these are the list of the tasks I've done so far, written my user story, acceptance criteria, wireframe and process maps, use case, personnel, and mind map. Yeah, thank you.
Babatunde.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Babatunde Ashimbola, and this is and I'm a QA. This is a screenshot of tell me about yourself. This is a screenshot of my personnel. If you go to the next slide, please. This is a screenshot of the responsibilities of my role. Next screen, please. This is a list of the tasks done so far. Next slide, please. So this is, we were asked to create the framework for Visual Studio using SpecFlow and using SpecFlow and C# as our programming language. This is, go to next slide, please. This is, you download the Visual Studio. These are screenshots how you download the Visual Studio, how you integrate your SpecFlow into Visual Studio. Next slide, please. These are slides where you, this is a slide where you add your Nugget package. This is also a slide where you create your folders, your feature file folders, you also create your folders, your page object, your hooks, and your test data. Next slide, please. This is a screenshot of how you create your feature file. Next slide, please. This is a screenshot of your feature file. Next slide, please. This is a screenshot of step definition. Next slide. A screenshot of your page, your hooks. This is a screenshot of your hooks. Next slide, please. This is a screenshot of your page object. Next slide. This is just a screenshot of a feature file. Next slide, please. This is to show that the test actually passed. This is a screenshot of your desk data. This is Azure Devil that I worked on. This is a screenshot of the Azure Devil board. Next slide. This is just a screenshot of a screenshot of the user stories that was written. I wrote about 23. Next slide, please. This is just this is also what I worked on, the automation that I worked on. Next slide, please. These are a number of automations that I worked on. Next slide, please. This is just the test data of that it passed. That's the slide before this, and this is just the page object, slide of the page object of one of the future files that was worked on. This is next slide, please. Next slide, please. This is these are bugs that were created. The first, if you go back, please. This is just a test case for a bug that was created. Next slide, please. This is just this is a screenshot of the web page showing that that particular feature wasn't on it. This is just a screenshot of the runner. Next slide, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Nice picture from your personnel. Babatunde. Olusegun, are you there?
Yeah, hello, yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, good evening. This is Olusegun. I'm a QA. This is just an interview about myself. Yeah, you can go on, please. Next slide, please. Next slide. This is a mistake. Next slide, please. This is 15 responsibility of a QA. Next, please. This is tasks I've done so far. I've written about the test cases for good power. These are I've done so far. Next, please. Yeah, this is the tasks I've done so far. Next, please. These are some of the test cases written. Keep going, please. These are some of the test cases. Keep going. Keep next. Just keep going. These are some of the test cases I've written. This is some of the test cases. This actually failed. This is a bug that I've raised. So I've assigned it to the developer. Next, please. And this is in the website that I've indicated that this is, this is some of the automation I carried out. Next, please. Next, please. These are just, and this is how to install Visual Studio and integrate StepFlow. Keep going, please. Just keep going. These are just the step to install Visual Studio and integrate StepFlow. Keep going. You're too fast.
Oh, sorry.
These are just the step. So I'll download and integrate StepFlow and unit on it. Keep going. Keep going. This is my Visual Studio already, and this is my mind map. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Segun. Tilda, are you there?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tilda, DA. So this is me just saying, telling you about myself, which is me just talking about my core traits and personality. This is a persona, which is me just expressing that I come from a strategic perspective when dealing with data analysis tasks. Some of my goals is career stability, to be a mentor. Next, please. This is a mind map for career plan. Vision is to be a successful career. Have a successful career as a data analyst, and some of the things I would ensure in my progress is to identify gaps in my skills. These are some of the core responsibilities of data analyst: analyzing, interpreting complex data, and presentation and visualization for your clients. Next, please. This is what I've done so far from sprint 4 to from sprint 0 to sprint 4. And in Excel, Tableau, and SQL, pivot table, inquiries, and yes, SQL installation and environments. Next, please. This is how to download the SQL installation. Next, please. Next. This is how to download it. Go back, please. Go back, please. And this is the environment when you download the SQL Server and the studio management for SQL Server. This is what your environment will look like. And this is for Tableau Public, which you have to download. Next, please. Next, you run it. Next, please. And you install it on your system. And this is what it will look like. Go back, please. This is what it will look like. And this is some of the work I have done on it. Next, please. And this is my Tableau Public and some of the things I have displayed there so that anyone or an employer can see it as well. Next, please. And this is what our BA interns and QA have been able to do in our group. Not everybody was able to give information about what they've done, but this is so far, as you can see, Segun has done 12 test cases. And again, this is a pivot table of what they have done and the total of what has been done, also divided by gender. This is a pivot chart of what they've done. And next, please. And this is also divided by gender and name. And we have one male boy. So much has been accomplished by both groups. Thank you.
Fumilayo?
Yes, please. Good evening, everyone. I'm Fumilayo, a data analyst. This is to tell you more about myself, who I am, my experience, and my aspiration. Next, please. This is a mind map of myself, the career development, my interests, my strengths, weakness. And this is my persona, my bio, and my personality. Next, please. So these are the 15 responsibilities of a data analyst, what we do with data. Next, please. Still the 15 responsibility. Next. So these are the work done so far. Oh, sorry. These are the work done so far in Excel, in Tableau. So next, please. It's still a list of work that we have done. It's not properly arranged again. I don't know why. So this is SQL installation. So it's this thing is after each order. Please, next, please. So these are the steps, one after the other. Wait, next, please. Next, next, next. So these are all the processes, and please go back. So after going through all the processes, we finally get to the installation process and we click finished. Next, please. So the next environment is the SQL Cell server management. This is the way we downloaded it too. It's just 2 steps. Next, please. So we went to Tableau. We downloaded Tableau, and after downloading it, you just create an account straight. Next, please. So this is what we have been the BA have been able to do. I got this from the Azure DevOps platform. So as we can see, larger percentage of the work was done by 1 person, and 2 other people shared it equally. Then these are the work that have been done. Some has been in development, some are in new, some are in UAT, and the names of the people that did it are there. Next, please. And so this is the bugs that were created. Some were passed, some were failed. Just 2 of it passed and others were failed. Thank you.
Abdulrazak, thank you so much. Abdulrazak, are you there? Okay.
Hello. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay. Hi. This is my internship program personal development presentation. My name is Abdulrazak. I'm a data analyst. So please go to this about myself. It talks about me and what I am. I'm a data analyst, data analyst. The next page is my personal. It talks about my goals, my skills. The next page is my responsibilities as a data analyst. What do we do as a data analyst? The next one is work environment setup. These are the setup for Microsoft Excel. Download it, and normally it comes with Microsoft Office. So the next page is Tableau setup. So I registered on Tableau website and downloaded the desktop version and put the license here. The next page is which one is that? Okay, Microsoft SQL Server. I downloaded it and installed it, and after that, I downloaded the SQL Server Management Studio. Please next page. Next page. Please. So the tasks I've done so far. So those are the tasks I've done so far. Please next page. Okay. Yeah, those are the tasks. Next page. So that's my Tableau profile. These are the views I've worked on before. The next one is please let me see. The next one is the analysis. The Ruby team. So I did an analysis on it and the views. That's it as a dashboard. That's it.
Thank you so much, Abdul. And
no, thank you. Yeah.
That's it from Ruby, and I'll hand it over back to the mentors. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you everyone, and thank you Ruby and Emerald especially for your feedback today for your demo. It was for me, I'm calling it a feedback because it shows me that a lot of work has been done on this. So the mentors will be giving a feedback on this shortly, and then Deji will wrap up, especially for the DAs. It's going to wrap up. So Moji will handle for the SMs, Bolu for the BAs, and then Abibola will give for the QAs. So, but inside of that, I would like to give just a general feedback in 30 seconds. This was, I saw synergy and I saw non-synergy. So that's the way I could put it. So in general for Emerald, I saw that the people that were available did a lot of work. However, like for example, I'll just go straight to the points. Like the DA, you had a lot of content, you had a lot of things to show, but it means you're not getting the feedback we are giving you as regards time and everything. But still, I won't, demean what you've done so far because it was an excellent job. You had a lot of content that, was even overwhelming. So that was really a fantastic job. So really, and Victoria, thank you for spearheading for your team. That was fantastic to see and all. However, please, let's always try to keep to the time, considering everybody around us. It will be good to see that. Okay, so before we start the feedback, I'm going to stop the recording. and then start all over again. So each mentor, please, in 3 to 5 minutes, just give your feedback as quickly as you can so we can wrap up in 15 minutes.